You know I always got to do my stories. It's Hassan Campbell and Alberto Alpo Martinez alike. I would say yes. I would think they were very much alike. This is why. They both grew up with a single parent in the projects, welfare, had it kind of rough. Alpo, he meets one of the top drug lords in Harlem who became his mentor, AZ. Y'all saw the movie. Y'all know the whole meetup and the whole hookup. Hassan Campbell, he meets one of the top pioneers in the rap industry who became his mentor. Alpo, he gets locked up for several murders, turns informant, testifies on one of his close friends, Wayne Perry, gets him until Jesus resurrects. Talk back to me. Wayne Perry got until Jesus resurrects. Hassan Campbell, he gets locked up. So-called several murders. Now, I ain't gonna lie, he did get locked up for some murders, in which he didn't do. I played the clip for y'all before, in which he's admitting he didn't catch the murders. He didn't catch a body. He didn't kill nobody. But he gets locked up for several murders and turns informant and gets his close friend, Eric Bennett, forever. Jesus walk. Talk back to me, somebody. Somebody talk back to me. I'm talking to you. Are they the same? Yes. In my book, they are. Alpo comes home back in his neighborhood. Make videos about murders. Make video about Rich Porter. Take you back to the crime scene, the whole murder scene. And he gets caught slipping and he gets murdered. Hassan Campbell, he comes home, goes back to Bronx River, makes videos about murders. Now he's living upstate. He's talking gangster tough shit. He goes back to Bronx River. Shorty runs down on him. But Shorty never finishes the job. He slips. He slips through the cracks. Shorty doesn't finish the job. But one thing I got to say about that whole situation, not just that, but just him in a whole. It ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. And the sad part is that the right person just didn't catch up to him yet. And that's the sad part that you must admit to. Everyone must admit that's the sad part about it. The one thing that separated them was Hassan Campbell got straight backboarding. Backboard. Y'all know what the backboard is. Africa Bambaataa was straight up slapping boards on him. That's the only thing that really separated him and Alpo. And if you look at it I don't know. And Hassan fell in love with his mentor. AZ and Africa Bambaataa, they kind of look the same. You must admit, y'all can go back and look at the video. Them two kind of resemble each other when you think about it. It's great. Hassan Campbell has helped propagate the murder of Alpo, Whack 100, and Big U. He pushes it. He pushes the narrative of murder by allowing by saying that, by allowing them, Big U and Whack 100, to be able to walk through Harlem and walk through Brooklyn and nothing happened to them after what happened to Biggie and Pac on the West Coast. He was trying to make it a West Coast, East Coast beef again. This is why Alpo was so comfortable in Harlem for such a short period of time. You may think, yo, he was out for 4 years, 5 years, yo. That's a short time in society. In prison, it's a long time. But in society, that's a short-lived life. 5 years. Just think, 5-year-old child. 5 years living in an apartment. That's a short period of time. It was just a matter of time before the folks came at him. You asked the question, how is Alpo able to walk around Harlem and be comfortable? Well, the same way Africa Bambaataa goes to and from Bronx River, stands on the same block with the same people that you, Hassan Campbell, look up to and call your OGs. The same way he's able to do that. Out of all of them people that he has touched and so-called molested, allegedly, he's able to do that. He's able to smile and laugh in your face and nothing happens. That's how Alpo is able to walk around and do the things that he did. See, let me explain to you guys out there who don't understand Harlem. And when you hear Harlem, you just look at it as a whole and everyone is together. It's nothing but unity. No. Let me explain to you. Harlem is separated, and it has been separated. And it's even worse now because you have the gang culture. So it's going to be much more separated today than it was years ago. But years ago and today, you have the east side of Harlem and you have the west side of Harlem. You got Spanish Harlem, which is mostly on the east side, and you got the west side of Harlem. The east side never liked the west side. And from my experience, I'm from the west side, so I always felt that they didn't like us more. But me, I always hung on both sides. Always got love from the east and the west side. I went to school on the east side. So we are separated by east and west. The east side, in which where Alpo was from, loved him. The east side, they loved Alpo. Alpo was their hero. Because he did it bigger and better than everybody else from the east side. Now you got your east side hustlers, dudes that was getting money, official tissue dudes, who didn't go out the back door like he did. But when he reigned and at his time, he was the biggest one to do it because he flaunted it like nobody else. You had dudes that was getting more money than Alpo on the east side, but they just wasn't flamboyant with it. And they didn't push it the way he did. See, because when it came to Alpo, you would think that he had more money and more pizzazz than everybody when it came to the AZ, Rich Porter, and everybody else. But that wasn't the case. He was just much more out and flamboyant with it. Kind of like if you think of the rap game, you got P. Diddy. But then you got Dr. Dre. He's not no flamboyant, out, boisterous person. But P. Diddy's up in every video, take that. Yeah, that's right, bad boy. P. Diddy puts himself out there. So you would think P. Diddy got the money, he got the Ciroc, he got the bras, he got jewelry. P. Diddy was kind of like the Alpo of the game. But then you got another dude from the east side. I'm not going to say his name. He was the Dr. Dre of the game. He had some bread. But he didn't flaunt it. He didn't flaunt it. He didn't flaunt it like Alpo did. So, the west side didn't like Alpo. Those people who I knew from the west side really didn't like Alpo for certain reasons. But one of them was because he was a, as we say, east side ass nigga. But he was respected and had a pass because of AZ, Rich, and the rest of the team. You know, the whole mob style team. Nobody didn't ever, try to cross that line. But he even said it when AZ left him the jukebox, and he said he was going to bring some East Side dudes over. It wouldn't have been a good thing to bring some East Side dudes to the West Side of Harlem. So, and most of the people who embraced him was women and the younger generation who really didn't give a shit about no goddamn code. They could care less about a damn code and what he did. All they did was see for years was a person, an icon, a drug dealer, a dude that stood out, rode bikes, had all the women official, caught bodies. They'd seen the movie, paid in full. They didn't care about what he told on or what he did. When they finally got to see this person, they were in awe. But for the people that was from Harlem, that knew him, that grew up, that was in that era, fuck is he? So what, nigga? Who is he? And I'm talking about the real dudes. I'm talking about the real killers, the real gangsters. Not the ones that you was hearing he was stepping to or so-called stepping to and running down on. Of course people going to propagate and run stories that he's doing this, doing that. He might have did it to a few, but he knew who to do it to and who not to do it to. A code. A code. Alpo, when you think about it, he was very well protected. For those that don't know, on the east side, like all my east side people, they know, like on the east side, Alpo was very well protected by Randy Love. Now this is a name that you people do not hear. Only person that really said his name was Sub-Zero, and he from the east side. But when it comes to Randy Love, which is a whole different story, he was the muscle. He was the wild one. He was the one people really feared. Nobody worried about Alpo like that. Randy was the one. So he was protected by Randy Love. And then when he went to D.C., they was going to move on him. But he was protected by Wayne Perry. And then on the west side, when he moved, he was protected by AZ and Rich Porter. Just the names gave him protection. And then he goes to prison, come home, and he's protected by the FBI. In a nutshell. But one thing he knew was the real killers were watching, laying, and plotting. He knew that. He knew that the real killers was watching and they was laying and plotting. And a lot of the real killers didn't have a problem with him. Because if they did, it would have been done a long time ago. Talk back to me. This is real street shit I'm talking about. Who cares about a name and who you are? Your skin is not made out of Teflon. You are not a bulletproof vest. It's nothing to walk up on you and put the work in. That goes for anybody. Who's protected? No one. Real killers know the feds was watching. Real killers, they're not doing it for the YouTube. They're not doing it for TV. They're not doing it for reputation, notoriety. They're doing it not to get caught. So, to sit there and watch this dude talk about Harlem and how they allowed this man to do, no one allowed nothing. Everything comes with time. Just like your days are numbered, my days are numbered, and everyone's days are numbered. We just don't know how we're going to go. But some of us can predict how we're going to go by our actions, our past, and the things we continue to do. That's it. It's all about the right time. when it comes to these streets, and this is what killers do. They plot and they wait and they watch you. They watch you. It's about being smart today. And that's what these real killers is doing today. They watching and they plotting and they want to get away. Okay? And it wasn't only about Pat Porter, Rich Porter, Darnell, and Wayne Perry and all the names that you know about. You forgetting about the countless people that he has been a part of killing. Because don't think all those killings was him. All those killers was Wayne Perry. The feds wanted Wayne Perry, not Alpo. If he was the real killer, it would have been Wayne Perry in prison and Alpo getting all the time. When they trying to pressure Wayne Perry to tell on him. No, they wanted Wayne Perry. That was the killer. Alpo wasn't the killer. So set the record straight. Because y'all keep making like this was some invisible man. They murdered Jesus. What's wrong with y'all? They murdered Jesus. Who's above Jesus? Who's above God? They murdered Jesus. What's the big deal? Make it like there's some big old super murder that happened. Let's not forget about the mothers, the fathers, the family members who at the time were 5 years old, 10 years old, that was murdered at the hands of not only Wayne Perry, but him and him talking about it. They grown people now. They grown men. They 35 years old, 40 years old. You think they're going to forget? They went through their whole lives with this shit. Friends went through their whole lives with this shit. There's no leads. I think. There's no leads because there's too many. When you got too many people that want to kill you, there's no leads on it. Who the hell did they start at? You could guarantee one thing, right? One goddamn thing. Because I'm tired of people making it seem like this and y'all all in my comment making it like this was some untouchable person and oh, people making videos now, they feel like people scared of what? Are y'all crazy? Let me tell you something. Most of the people in Harlem that was back then at his time just coming home now too. Everyone, mostly everybody's just coming home now from the same type of fucking situations he had, same crimes, murderers that's just coming home. You think they're gonna risk their life and put their neck out there to do something to an FBI agent? Do you know what happens for killing an FBI agent? Because that's what he was. Do you know the time you're gonna get? Talk back to me, somebody. Talk back. I'm talking to you. Do you know the time you're gonna get for killing an agent? The look that he got at every party in which I frequent a lot of parties he came to. And I could tell you today, the look he got from people wasn't looks of, oh wow, there's Alpo. No, the looks he got was, this nigga Alpo. Ain't get that nigga yet? That's the look he got. They was waiting for that day to come. People was looking for that day. And they was looking in disbelief that, damn, this nigga still riding around? They ain't get him yet? That shows a lot about a person's character. And that's scary to live a lifestyle like that. You can guarantee that you got people that see your dumb ass, HC. And when you make another video, they like, man, this nigga still here making videos and shit. They ain't get that nigga yet? You could bet you got people that's thinking like that. Guarantee it. The block, this is another crazy part. The block he got shot on, right? The police stands outside every night. Day. 1 block over. Same avenue. They stand out there every night. And he got shot on that next corner. But no one was able to catch the drive-by, the car, the make, nothing. No camera, nothing. Precinct, 3 blocks away. Nothing. It was fate. Didn't want to see him go. A lot of people, no. I don't think he's dead. I think the federal government used the marksman to hit him, and he had a vest on and made sure that it go. Shut up! Shut up! Shut your ass up with this goddamn conspiracy theory shit. Shut up! You don't want to believe he's gone. You still think Tupac is living in Cuba. You think Elvis living somewhere in Arizona. You don't want nobody to be gone. Everybody has to go. What is wrong with y'all people out there? And then you got this stupid ass Hassan. He still preaches murder and bodies he's beat. What about your so-called victims? Because this should be a lesson learned to you after seeing what happened to Alpo. What about your so-called victims? Because I still walk around with my head slightly on the swivel. If I see a shadow or something coming up to me. What about you with your so-called murders? And victims. And though you didn't kill anyone, you still get or deserve the same treatment as the killer for claiming to have killed these people's family members and glorify it and put it on camera and talk slap box and noodle rock shit. Talk back to me, somebody. The sad part is you learn nothing from this. From Alpo, you learn nothing from the killing of him. You don't think that you can be next. You don't think it can happen. Though he was out there in them streets running around saying like whatever could happen, happen. He didn't think it really can happen. And he wasn't prepared for it. Just remember, your past actions and your words can catch up to you as well. 3 so-called bodies. 3 so-called bodies that you caught and still talking murder about these family members who had kids, who had family members that are grown now, that were young as kids. That's why with the mob, with the mafia, when they kill a family member, kill all the men, the young boys. Kill the boys. Kill them. Because they're going to grow up one day to be a man. And y'all seen the rest of it. Y'all know the rest of it. Y'all seen The Godfather. Y'all seen how it go down. Vito Corleone. Motherfucker grow up and went back and got that man. That's why they don't play. They do not play. You, everybody, no one's above getting murdered. You survived. You survived. Remember that. You got to look at it like, yo, I survived. That's how I look at it. Yo, I survived. I made it. You have a family. I have a family. You have a home. You have a YouTube channel. You eating. You survived. You survived the streets. You talk about this place of hell. You survived it. You made it. No one is above a bullet. From the president, John Kennedy, all the way down to Malcolm X, all the way down to Paul Castellano. You can have the best security. And you're not hard to touch. Everyone knows your address. They know who you are, what you look like. So it's not hard, but they know you and Alpo are the same because them alphabet boys was watching y'all. They just got their drop on him when them alphabet boys went to sleep. Yeah, keep playing. Keep playing. Keep playing. The moral of the story is, if you love your family, to my young brothers and sisters out there, if you love your family, you love yourself, and want to live to die a natural death, stay out that white man prison. And not only stay out that white man prison, I'm talking about stay out that white man prison of mental enslavement. Stay out that white man prison of your weak desires. That white man prison of enslavement, of black on black hate, black on black crime. Man, y'all know the rest of it, man. You know the rest. I don't even got to tell you. So when y'all hear me say, stay out that white man prison, I'm not talking about that physical prison that you're going to. I'm talking about that mental enslavement prison that we still continue to live in. Disrespecting the dead. Disrespecting the dead's family members. And glorifying it. Or, you know what? Or you could become a stripper. You could become a stripper in prison for the COs, bend over, showing your butt cheeks, your booty hole, be counted every day like cattle. You ever know what it feels like to be sleeping? You know, one of them good sleeps, you be resting good. And somebody yelling over your bed, on the count. What the fuck? What? On the count. Get up. It's bright lights all in your face. Everybody standing. You got to stand up in front of your bed. On the count. And you got to get up like an animal and stand there. And they walk by and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you be like, damn, they made me number 7 today when they counted. The next day, damn, they made me number 9. 9, 7. You just start thinking cuckoo shit when you're in prison. That count shit is a motherfucker. And I don't care who you are out there in this world right now. Any brother that ever been to prison, you don't even have to look at the clock. You can feel what time it is. Talk back to me now. Those of you that been in prison that did a lot of time, you know what time it is throughout the day. I don't need no watch. Yo, what time is it, Shaft? And when we answer, right, we don't say, for those who know you institutionalized, this is sick shit. We don't say it's 11 o'clock, 12, 9. Oh, it's child time right now. Right now it's child time. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right now. They about calling the yard right now. And we know child time, 11 o'clock. They just call the yard between 1:30, 2 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? If your side got the yard or, hold on, what they call? Oh, yeah, today is the armory. They got the armory open today. That's what time it is. Time for the armory. You know, institutionalized shit. So, if you want to live that lifestyle, then you can become part of, the movement. Yeah, the prison movement. Counted by COs all day, like cattle. Watch your kids grow up from behind a wall. You know what that's like? To see your kids grow up and you behind the wall, and every other visit you can get with them every 2, 3, 4 months, they get to come on a visit and you see them get taller and taller. Damn, last time I seen you was like this tall, man. Damn, you almost my height, man. And your kids sticking their chests out and standing next to you. You know what it's like? You don't know what it's like. You don't want that feeling, brothers, sisters. You don't want it. I'm still up in them prisons every other weekend visiting and seeing it to always remind myself and keep myself grounded. So that's why when I make these videos and people talk all of that crazy shit, you ain't this, you ain't gonna do that, and this. I gotta go back to jail for a minute. Cause I'm ready to lose it. You got to keep yourself grounded. Do what works to keep you grounded. What are your triggers? Recognize what your triggers are. Recognize what's most important to you. And are you willing to risk that? Are you willing to risk it for the rest of your life? Because that's what they're giving out there today. They're giving out life. You want to go to your mother's funeral in slave shackles? That's what you want? You want to share a cell with another man smelling his farts and shit. You want to witness your family being mistreated? Have you ever been called nigger by a white man who's really in the Klan? Have you ever had that happen to you? Do you know what that feeling is like? Do you know how that will touch your soul? Do you know what it's like? I know what it's like. I've been a part of it. I've been called that. I've witnessed it. Let's not cry over spilt milk. A 5-year-old kid was killed the other day. A senseless murder. A 9-year-old kid was murdered the other day in a state of, I don't know, pick one. A senseless murder, drive-by shooting, an innocent child. As I say this video, timestamp it. And go back to the news and watch. And I'm just saying it because I know whatever the statistics say of how many children are murdered due to innocent murders and drive-by shootings and bullets just going all over the place is happening somewhere. It's happening somewhere now. Let's rest in peace to them. Let's rest in peace to those who are counted. You know what? To those who went inside my box, right? And say, yo, you talking about Alpo, but you bigging Wayne Perry up. I'm not bigging him up. For the record, I'm letting it be known. He was just as bad as Alpo without the cooperation. He took many lives. Many lives. He was the devil himself. And now what is he? He's a Muslim and he is praying and on that Sirat al-Mustaqim asking for that forgiveness because he know, yeah, he fucked up. And his day is near. And as for us all, our days are near. And that's the only thing we share as human beings. We doing it at the same time, same second, minute, and hour. You know what we all doing at the same time, second, minute, and hour? Getting old. Everyone and everything is getting old. Same second, same minute, same hour. And let me close out with this. There was a universal language that we speak and spoke. And you know what that is? It's 2 universal languages that we speak and spoke at a time. Our smiles and our cries. That's a universal language. A woman in Africa can have a baby. And a woman in China can recognize the pain and the cries of that woman. And know the language when that woman gives birth to that child. The language that that child speaks and its cries. And that goes for any nationality. And a woman in Yugoslavia can understand the language of a bum all the way down in the streets of Harlem. They can understand the language of a smile. You can never let no one take your smiles and never let no one take your cries. Because that's one thing that we share. We got to learn to smile more and learn to cry more. All that tough shit. Motherfucker, cry, punk. You came in the world crying. Now you're tough. Ain't nothing wrong with crying. Let it out. We got to learn to be vulnerable as men. Why you think relationships and shit? That's a whole nother subject. Stop that goddamn white man prison.